have the ability to record? Okay, thank you.
I just tried it out and I do.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our annual Transportation Options Workshop. Today, we will be hearing from some newer transportation partners we haven't featured before, like TreadShare and World Mobility. We are so excited to share these options and hope that you will find them as cool as we do. As usual, Latoya will begin the meeting by addressing some Zoom housekeeping items.
Thank you, Colleen. If you haven't already, please type your name and organization into the chat. We kindly ask that everybody please stay muted unless speaking. Feel free to use the chat to ask questions or just to share any comments. And you can always raise your hand using the reaction button if you have something to add. With that covered, let's move on to some brief staff introductions, which I'm really excited about, and updates from the DRMAC team. I'm excited to announce that we have 2 new members to our team who will be meeting momentarily. But first, let's go into some updates from me. I'm Latoya Pranti, Operations and Development Manager here, and we're really pushing out with interns right now. I'm going through some courses so we can be prepared for that. So we're really hoping to get some interns by the beginning of the next year. We're still pushing out volunteers, so if you would like to volunteer for a good cause, please reach out to me via email. My email is on the slide deck now. I'll also put it in the chat after this. And that's it. Malia?
Hi, everyone. I'm Malia Munson. I'm the Operations and Development Coordinator, and I'm going to talk to you about membership today. As we approach the 2025 year, we encourage you to renew or become a member of our organization. By joining, you'll help us continue breaking down mobility barriers and expanding access to essential transportation resources in our community. Your support directly fuels our mission, and we're excited to offer new incentives to make membership even more rewarding next year. As a reminder, we're going to be offering 3 different levels. There's individual at $25, organizational at $100, and business at $500. You can email me for more information. Colleen, could you put my email in the chat real quickly? And that's it from me. On to Valeria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Valeria Martinez. I am the new Program and Training Assistant. This is my 2nd day, so I'm really excited to be learning alongside you all. I'm really glad to be a part of this team. Over to Arthur.
Hi, I'm Arthur. I'm the Outreach and Development Coordinator. It is also my 2nd day, so I'm going to be learning a lot too. But yeah, I'm really excited to work here. There's been a lot of really awesome information that I've been learning, and I'm excited to, go on this journey with y'all. Over to Colleen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mac team. Now I'm going to introduce Erwin Germain from TreadShare, a carpooling app with a mission to decrease traffic and pollution. Erwin, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, it says I can't share my screen while the other participant is sharing.
Yep,
but...
I can stop that share for you. You should be able to now.
Okay. Yes. Okay, can you guys see? Okay, great. So I'm Erwin Germain, co-founder and CEO of TreadShare. I grew up carpooling massively in Europe and decided it was time to adapt it and make it easy for the US as well now that I live here. So the problems that I identified after moving from Europe, from France to Colorado in 2015, I absolutely love the mountains, but it was painful to be in my car alone next to so many others just wanting to reach the same places. On top of that, the cost of owning a car is continuously on the rise. I didn't have any friends, and we have a climate emergency. So I thought, what if you could get paid for driving somewhere you're already going, or reserve cheap rides to your favorite destinations? This is how it works in Europe, and decided, yeah, we could easily adapt that to Colorado. So this is now possible with our mobile app TreadShare, which links drivers and riders heading in the same direction so they can carpool while sharing the associated cost. It's also a very good way to meet other like-minded Coloradan and make new friends. So how does it work? Riders reserve their seat up front on the app, and once the ride is completed, we transfer the money to the driver, minus a commission fee kept by TreadShare to allow us to operate. The difference with Uber and Lyft is that we are really sharing the cost of driving. It's pretty much gas money that the app organizes, the transfer of gas money between riders and drivers. Our commission is way lower. We want to respect the spirit of carpooling, and the driver can't make a profit. It's really help to cover their costs from going to point A to point B, that a trip that they're already doing for leisure or even business. So to launch in Colorado, I had the joy of negotiating with Uber and Lyft and the legislature because there was like a glitch. By default, we were considered as another Uber and Lyft. And then once the legislature understood what we were trying to do, they said, oh yeah, we need to change the legislation. So I had to negotiate with Uber and Lyft, and yeah, Governor Jared Polis signed our bill in 2021. So we launched just after that. So our traction so far, it's mostly ski traffic. That's clearly the early adopters of that new method of traveling. So our partners are definitely some ski resorts and also some local non-profits like the I-70 Coalition that advocates to decrease traffic along the I-70 corridor. Over the past 3 winters, we had about 8,000 signups, 2,700 drives posted, and 600 rides booked with very limited resources. So we are proud of that. And what's also very nice to see is that we had 100% 5-star reviews between drivers and their passengers. So that's very encouraging. People love using the app. Our main challenge now will be to make TreadShare year-round, and we know it's possible. Because besides mountain winter activities, there are also a lot of outdoor activities that we can do year-round and during the summer. More and more ski resorts are also opening and developing new activities for during the summer. And we also have other carpooling needs that we can call city to city. Just for Colorado, there are like dozens of groups online for people looking for rides to go to the airport, to go to a concert, a marathon, or from Durango to Denver, or they don't have a car, they don't want to drive, etc., etc. So thanks to the way our app is designed, we can go after all those needs. In December, so in 2 months, we are launching a new service that will be more for commuting to work, for employees going to work, because we've been having demands from some ski resorts and even some ski clubs of universities to adapt the current app and create a private carpool group just for them so that they can carpool privately. So, for example, for employers, it's a good solution to decrease their carbon emissions and address new scopes of emissions that are harder to address because it's how their employees get to work. Definitely reduce traffic and parking issues, and it's also a good way to increase employee satisfaction and retention. Especially in the mountains, there are a bunch of employees who don't necessarily have a car or coming from abroad just for a few months. So they don't necessarily have a car, so it's good for them. Yeah, so we've been talking to all of those: A-Basin, Winter Park, Copper, Vail, Colorado State University, it's for their ski club. And also we started talking to the town of Erie, north of Denver. They are very interested in our solution. And so it's good for ski resorts, ski clubs, NPOs, large employers. I would say with at least 100 employees, but also for local governments, counties, towns. Yeah, so we're working towards reaching out to them. It's also a very good timing to implement such a solution as an employer because there's a 50% tax credit in Colorado that was postponed until 2027 for every carpool solution spending expenditures that an employer will do. They get a 50% tax credit refund the year after. So, and if it's a local government, it's even better. It's a direct refund from the state. And additionally, we obtained a $50,000 grant from CDOT to implement our solution and to help acquire our first clients because yeah, everybody understands that the goal is really to decrease traffic. So we have very, very, very good pricing that does not exist. Our goal is really to put our foot in the door, get more awareness, and help decrease that traffic and carbon emissions. So we are very cheap, pretty much. That's what it is. So sustainability, yeah, is a huge part of what we want to do. And by year 5, by 2029, we're expecting to make an impact. And we are also looking for investors because we want to accelerate the growth in Colorado and also expand to other states. And within 18 months, the goal would be to also launch in Utah and California, and then go to all the Rockies, Pacific Northwest, and within 5 years, reach the Northeast coast. But for that, we need funds. So if you have a rich uncle, let me know. So thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, and I will just, I'll put my email in the chat if there are any, or need to reach out for after. And just some user testimonials. We're very happy with that, and that keeps us going.
What a cool service. Thank you so much. Erwin, are there any questions? I'm really excited. That tax benefit is incredible.
I do have a question really quick.
Yeah.
If that's all right. Are there any services for city and county of Denver or Metro Denver to utilize the new service for employees commuting to work?
I would love to, but I haven't reached out to Denver. So the thing with Denver Metro is that there's My Way to Go and Dr. Cog that exist. And so how do I say that? I don't. It's been years that some ski resort and ski club have been asking TreadShare to adapt their solution because they were not satisfied by what's out there. And I said, there's My Way to Go in Denver. I'm sure they can expand the network, blah, blah, blah. But they say we don't like it. And I investigated, I looked into it, and indeed, I decided that we could do way better with TreadShare. So I would love Denver and Denver Metro, My Way to Go, to explore over ocean and see if there wouldn't be another service out there that could lead to a higher engagement rate. Because what's My Way to Go is doing right now, it's just putting in contact some drivers, some commuters together, but that stays there. It's just then the carpool is organized outside the app, and I don't think it's ideal because we have the experience of what happened in Europe. Carpooling started like that, but like 20 years ago, pretty much 15, 20 years ago. And there was some major improvement that were done over years. And that's when carpooling really picked up in Europe because we made it very easy for the users to book rides and share the cost and communicate with their drivers. So TreadShare is going straight to that because we know that's what worked in Europe and it's also adapted to the US, so it's a bit different. So for example, we have a live reservation system. The cost sharing agreement is already included, so that removes a lot of a headache. Confirm with A Basin employees of Arapahoe Basin, made some surveys with their employees, and the cost sharing agreement was a big part of it, because people can carpool and say, okay, I'll give you $5 in cash, I'll Venmo you. It never happens, or it's a headache. So A-Basin really made it clear you need to keep that functionality for your private carpool group that you are designing for us. We have reviews, a profile, you know, what car you're going to be in. Social media can be connected to the profile. And we do some, yeah, I mean, there are other functionalities, but it's way more advanced. And we think that's how you can really convert people to carpooling. But they need to be able to book a ride or post a drive in like 3 clicks, like 10 seconds. And that's pretty much what our app is doing. So I really hope that, so right now I'm not going after Denver because I know they have that solution, and I've even talked to them, to Dr. Cog, and they seem happy with the solution. But I think it's because they don't know something else that could be better. But so right now I talked to Erie, and we are about to launch a huge outreach campaign. I mean, through all the I-70 corridor, towns, counties. But I would love Denver for sure. If you know if they would be willing to talk, I would be happy to.
Thank you.
It looks like Andrea has a hand up.
Yes. Erwin, what happens if a group finds a carpool and continues to operate? Do they continue to pay you?
Like, do you mean like if they carpool once with someone and then they just organize their carpool outside the app after because they know each other?
Yes, they stay together.
Yeah, it doesn't matter I mean, for a private carpool group, it's even not a problem because we are charging at the organization level. There's no fees between passengers and drivers because it's it's for employees. So we charge a monthly subscription to the employer. So it's just then a matter of tracking. So I think that it's more an issue for the employer, because then we can't track the emission reductions, and then the driver might not get paid. It's some kind of over arrangement. So it's not necessarily an issue. And then on the recreational side, it's not an issue for me either, because if people start carpooling, the goal of the app is also to make friends, like going skiing, going to a concert, even the airport, whatever. So if you make new friends, then there's no point of using the app after. So I just think it's good customer service. Then they made friends, now they're happy, they can carpool together another time as friends. And then happy customers, then when they are going to another destinations and their friend is not going, then they can still use the app. So actually I would be very happy that this happens. That would mean that one of the goals is achieved.
Thank you.
Great. Are there any other questions before we move on to the next presenter? Well, thank you again, Erin. That was really good information.
Thank you so much. And I will just put my email in the chat if anyone has
Thank you.
All right. Our next speaker is going to be Joe Foster from Roam Mobility, your go-to app for a smoother life, specially designed for wheelchair users and those with mobility issues. Joe, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys can hear me okay.
Yes.
Awesome. So it's funny to follow a rideshare app that's getting people up to ski, because that's where this app was born as well. I was working up with a group for the Paralympics at Breckenridge, Colorado. and we tried to take a group of athletes out to dinner. And we thought we had done such a good job of finding a location because they told us that they were accessible. And we found that we had 3 steps to get inside, and it was a huge issue to try to get people inside. And then we picked a place that had an elevator to get down to the bathroom, and the athletes' chairs were too big to use the elevator. And I just asked them, I said, this doesn't happen to you when you're in Denver or in a big city? And they just kind of laughed at me. They said, no, every time that we go out, we really have to either send somebody or do a lot of research, make phone calls, do these things. And we just found that there wasn't another service like this where people in this community could go and find pertinent information that they were looking for. And so we developed Roll. Roll is a free mobile app for anybody to use that allows people to leave real-time information about the accessibility of locations, about bars, restaurants, parks. And we're actually working right now on also rating the accessibility for transit stations and bus stops in the app. So that's kind of our bread and butter, is just getting, the more people that we have using the app, the more information will be there and the more people can update it, especially as winter starts rolling around. We know that places that are accessible in the summer are not always accessible in the winter time. So yeah, the app is available on both Apple and Google. It's just under Roll Mobility. We also have Instagram and a TikTok and a Facebook and a YouTube. So if people are interested in going and looking at those channels, they're very easy to find. But it's kind of our core tenet is that Roll is free for people to use. We know that especially as people get older, there are more and more mobility issues. We were contacted by a group pretty recently that just said, we just use the app to, avoid large flights of stairs and things like that. Partnered with a group that was doing a symposium. But yeah, does anybody have any questions? I know I'm pretty quick and easy.
Melanie?
Hi, I am wondering if kind of what your geographic area is. Are you specific to Colorado or Denver, or how far do you reach?
So we're in over 50 countries. We're in 2 languages at the moment, but by the end of the month, we hope to be in 12 different languages. And we've got hundreds of reviews in the Denver metro area. And there are other, some of our other big footprints are in other big cities, but.
That's amazing. Andrea? Was that all you had, Melanie? Sorry. Okay, Andrea?
I'm unclear. Do you provide the way for people to create carpools, or do you just provide the information about accessibility?
So we just provide information about accessibility. We provide a way for anybody who's on this call could download the app right now and search a location and leave a review for accessibility of that location.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely know firsthand. I was a caregiver, CNA, and so walking around with somebody in a wheelchair and trying to even get on a sidewalk was difficult. We had to be in the street, or you're right, going to the restroom, we had to look for many different restaurants that might be able to take a wheelchair in there and do what we need to do in there. So I definitely appreciate this app. I think that that's something that's hugely appreciated in the people with disabilities world and things like that. So, all of our older adults are getting older and can't go up 3 steps sometimes. So this is going to be their friend too. So I appreciate that so much. Do we have any other questions for Joe?
You bring up a really good point. that roll logo at the bottom. I'm sorry if I don't know, there was a slide that I don't think it got in. But that roll mobility, that green on top and red on the bottom is actually one of the indicators that's on the map. So the top part of that little circle is the overall accessibility of a location, and the bottom is the bathroom accessibility. So you just at a glance, you can really see very easily what the accessibility for both the location and the bathroom is. So
That's great. Irwin, you had a question?
Yes, just a remark. The way we, so with TreadShare, we understood that there's a demand for groups on the app to build over communities of people who are going to carpool together. For example, we have elderly who asked, I would love to go skiing or go hiking, but I don't want to go with a 20 years old, obviously. So they were wondering if they could we could create groups on the app for a certain age, and even people could create their own groups, or women going hiking or something. So I'm just wondering if there would be something we could do together regarding the people using your app, if there would be a need for those people to gather together to go to some kind of event, and then we can organize the carpooling. I mean, they can organize the carpooling through the app, or outdoor activities. I'm just putting it out there. It's not urgent, but that's clearly where we're going with TreadShare. We understand that there's that demand. So I'm just putting it out there if that would help, if you can help each other out, if you think the community could, would want this kind of service. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think one of the things that we really want to see with Roll is we see that a lot of people who have mobility issues and a lot of people who have difficulty getting around have a lot of anxiety with being out, and their quality of life has decreased. And so anything to help people, I think that would be amazing, to connect people in that way so that they do, as you said, make new friends and just have the ability to get out and about. But
Okay.
I'll grab your email off of the chat and send you an email.
Yeah, like Colleen said, collaboration, this is a great spot for that and should be utilized for that, right? That's why we come and talk about things and have folks come in and speak, is because of things like this that can make a difference for people's worlds. So thank you so much for speaking up on that, Erwin, and thanks, Joe, for being open-minded about that. It's very important, right? And that's why we do what we do. So Joe, is there any other questions for him before we politely move on? Okay, well, his information will be in the chat, so please be watching for that. And if you had any other questions after this, please reach out to either Joe or Irwin, but we'll be moving on to Malia.
All right. Thank you, Latoya. At DRMAC, it's our goal to ensure that everyone in the community has access to reliable transportation options. And we feel we play a key role in connecting individuals to over 60 different transportation providers. And I just wanted to take a little bit of time in this transportation workshop to just go over a few of some of the resources we have in our Getting There guide. This just kind of gives a range of what we provide as a resource, and we're continually expanding this network to meet growing needs as we find new providers. So we can't cover all of them today. These are just a few highlights that represent the variety of services available. First, there's Bustang, which is an excellent option for longer trips across Colorado, such as heading into the mountains. Not only are the vehicles accessible, but you can also help reduce traffic on I-70. Plus, you have the convenience of catching up on emails, watching a show, or just relaxing during the trip. We also have RTD, who's a great partner with us. They are a key resource in the Denver area and in our travel training program. They provide buses, trains, and specialized services like AccessoRide, which for those new is RTD's ADA paratransit service. It's a rideshare service for those who can't use the regular fixed buses and light rail service due to their disability. And they also have access to Access on Demand, where the riders can use Lyft, Uber, Z-Trips, and Metro Taxi as part of their eligibility for curb-to-curb services. Another option we often give out is MedRide, which offers medical transportation services, and Medicaid users can take advantage of this. While reservations are recommended, same-day trips can be available depending on driver availability. We also work a lot with Lyft and Uber, and they're a part of our travel training. In their electric scooters and e-bikes, we often recommend for short distance trips. That micro-mobility is key, and we often will use that as a solution for first and last mile options. For those who need it, DRMAC has some voucher codes available. So feel free to contact Stephanie O'Neill, who's the program manager, if you'd like to receive one of these vouchers. Colleen, if you would do me the favor and put Steph's email in the chat for those who would like it, I would appreciate it. Next, we have Volunteers of America, which helps residents of Clear Creek County with medical and personal trips, including grocery trips. This service is available for individuals aged 60 and older. We also have Hop Skip Drive, which is a great resource for older adults and families who need to transport their children to school or extracurricular activities when other options just aren't available to them. We also have A-Lift in our resource guide, and it's a program run by Via Mobility, specifically for Adams County residents, and they provide transportation for medical or personal trips. And the last one I'll throw at you today is Broomfield Easy Ride, which is a free service for Broomfield residents age 60 and older. It's available for both medical and personal trips, and many residents also take advantage of Broomfield's FlexRide network, which is part of our team. Now I want to provide a brief overview of some of the key programs that we have at DRMAC. Since a lot of you are already familiar with these, I'll keep it concise, but I do think it's important to note just how many different ways DRMAC is here to support the community in accessing transportation resources. It's something we're all really passionate about. So the first bullet point I'll give to you is our information and assistance line, which is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and available in any language. We do have translation services. We have 2 individuals who speak Spanish on our staff, but we're also opening up that translation services to other languages. This line is a place for people to ask questions, get education on transportation options, and even just sometimes they call to voice their concerns. Marie is not here today, but she is I wish she were, because she is our little face of DRMAC's information and assistance line. She's wonderful and does great with communicating to each of these individuals. The next resource that I will talk about is our Getting There guide. It's one of our longest standing projects, and I can say I'm very proud of that fact. We have over 60 transportation options listed. We cover free, low cost, volunteer-based, fixed route, rideshare, and paid services. The guide is available in multiple languages, including English, Spanish, Arabic, and more. It's available both in print and as a PDF, and there are also audio versions in English and Spanish on our website. Another project that we've put a lot of effort into and are very proud of is our Getting There app, which is essentially our Getting There guide in app form. It makes it easy for users to plug in their information and find transportation resources. It's compatible with screen readers and available as both an app and a website. You can find any of that information to download that app on our website as well. And lastly, I want to talk about our Getting There travel training program. which offers 3 free classes covering transit resources, RTD basics, and Lyft and Uber basics. The classes are available in English, Spanish, and other languages through interpretation services as needed. We've even conducted trainings in Dari, Arabic, and Burmese this year. So good job to the travel training team on that. The classes are an hour long, and for those attending in person, we offer a field trip to Union Station where participants can practice what they've learned. If you have any questions or would like more information, please don't hesitate to reach out. Also, if you believe in the work we do, I just want another little plug. We encourage you to donate and become DRMAC members so we can continue providing these vital services to the community.
Thank you, Malia. As you were going through the list of services, I was like, I'm so proud of my team. You guys said we do a lot of work
Yeah,
to
it's a
keep
lot of
us
good work.
small. Yeah, thank you, Malia. Okay, at our last meeting, we did a networking event and got some really good information to share out to the community. Does anyone have any events coming up or anything they'd like to promote? Please unmute, raise your hand, or type in the chat. Let us know what's going on in your world. And we're also happy to share any events on our platforms if you'd like us to.
And I know there's stuff going on, so come on, people. We want to share your stuff out. We want to know what's going on and where we can be involved in, and right, support, right, collaborate, things like that. That's how it happens.
We have a raised hand. Ali. Joel, Ali, can you hear us? Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I've been just trying to finagle all of the things. So thanks so much for this awesome presentation. I'm from Boulder County Human Services with the IDD Levy program. And I just wanted to give a shout out for our upcoming event. We're hosting a housing summit, Neuro-Inclusive Housing Summit in Boulder at CU Village. So I don't know if you all have heard of it or not, but I'll plug some things in the chat. We still have some room. It's capped at 200 guests, but it's free for folks to attend. There's breakfast, there's lunch included, and it really is dedicated to discussing housing solutions. So if that, for folks on that spectrum, neuro inclusivity spectrum. So if you're interested, there'll be information in the chat. Thanks for offering this, by the way.
Of course. Do you have a flyer or anything, Ali, that we could share out? If you want to email it to me, we'll make sure that we share it out on our social media.
Yeah, and I did just want to mention too, we're hoping to have the whole event offered in Spanish, translation and ASL, and hopefully closed captioning. So we don't just want folks to come in and get those accommodations. We just want to provide it for the whole. So anyway, I will send it out.
Thank you. Sounds interesting. I would like to attend. Anyone else? No. Okay, well, if you think of anything, please feel free to drop it in the chat or reach out to one of us, and we'd love to share it. So all part of connecting as a community. I think we're about we may end up being done early here. All right, so as always, we'd like to give a special shout out to our DRMAC members. Many of them participated in our expo last month, and we truly couldn't do it without their support. Thank you so much to our members. And all righty, that about brings us to the end of our meeting today. Is there a question?
Comment in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Charlie, let's see. Okay. Yes, we do record these meetings, Charlie, and they are, is it available on our YouTube site, right? So can someone grab a link to that and put it in the chat? And you can get recordings of all of our previous and upcoming meetings there. I think that's what you were asking. Is that correct?
Yeah, something along those lines. Thanks. No, that'd be good.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, all the people who did present, I missed a lot of it because I have something going on here. But if we could get the names of those organizations and points of contact, that might be of interest to people also.
Absolutely. I think one of us will put it maybe faster than me trying to dig around to find it, but it will be available on our YouTube channel. Do you have the link, Latoya, to the YouTube? No? Okay. How about this? Charlie, you want to let me just, you want
I'll
to
do
put your
this.
email in it? Can
I'll
you do it?
stop
'Cause
my
I don't
share
think
real
it-
quickly.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Because we were on the last slide anyways, and I'll go ahead and get
Okay.
the YouTube and yeah, if Erwin
I can
and
get the YouTube link.
oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arthur.
Teamwork makes the dream work. That's our motto.
All right. Were there any more questions? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go so abruptly into the close, or comments or information needs.
I hope
Okay.
this was really useful and helpful for you guys. I know that Erwin's really excited about potential collaboration with Joe, so that's great. But hopefully you guys will utilize it in your guys' world or with the communities that you guys are working with, and it just be another resource or tool for you guys. So yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, the causes. All right, that about brings us to the end of our meeting today. Thank you all for attending and participating in our networking activity. We look forward to seeing you next month at our member meeting scheduled for November 12th, 1:30 to 3 p.m. on Zoom. And like Malia mentioned, I'm going to give a shameless plug. Please consider becoming a DRMAC member. The information's on our website. All are welcome to join our member meeting, even if you aren't a current DRMAC member. Oh, and it's hard to believe we only have 2 more meetings left for 2024. The registration links for the remaining meetings can be found on our website, and we will be posting our 2025 meeting schedule soon. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next month. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.